Hey guys, glad to be back. Today I've got a real treat for you because I saw the Joker last night, Joker movie. Opening night, Thursday night, went and saw it, and let me tell you something. I'm going to do this review without spoiling anything because you guys need to go see this movie. Very dark, very depressing, but a really, really sharp, perfectly paced film, in my opinion. When Warner Brothers first announced that they were doing a movie centered around an origin story for the Joker, I was a little bit baffled because we just had the whole Joker fiasco with Jared Leto and Suicide Squad, which nobody liked. For the most part, I don't know anybody who really liked that. But so then going into a completely different Joker so soon after that one was a little bit not many people thought it would turn out very well. Let's just put it that way. But Joaquin Phoenix and Todd Phillips, the director, did an absolutely fantastic job of bringing this character to life in a way that none of us have ever seen before. So I do want to jump in and say that the origin story for this version of the Joker, like I said before, is nothing that any of us have ever really seen before. Kind of in the Christopher Nolan vein, where it's kind of, the Christopher Nolan Batman movies were a little bit more realistic. They took some cues from the comic books, but they wanted to become their own thing. And this movie does that in the same way for the character of the Joker. Set in the 1980s, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, Joker is played by Joaquin Phoenix, and the movie is perfectly paced in that it starts out with the Joker before he's the Joker, obviously. Arthur Fleck, played by Joaquin Phoenix, and basically just shows us his steady decline into madness, which I was really in awe of Joaquin Phoenix's performance. I don't think they could have picked a better actor to have portrayed this role. Obviously, he got really into it, lost a lot of weight, and I think even mentally he got into that sort of psyche of what it would be like to have a mental illness. Now, I will say that one thing I've been seeing from some critics and also from some people who have seen the movie is that this movie condones the behavior of some terrible people that have done some terrible things that I'm pretty sure we have all seen on the news. And I don't think that's what this movie does. I don't think they've really actually looked deep into what the movie actually stands for. And in a way, you kind of had some backlash with Heath Ledger's version of the Joker in The Dark Knight, where people kind of said the same thing, where they were like, they're trying to make the Joker cool and all the bad things he does is cool. No, if you're actually thinking about it, you start to almost you pity, in this movie, you pity the Joker. You pity Arthur Fleck because of all the things he goes through within the movie, which you can see a lot of the stuff that he goes through just by watching the trailers. So you kind of pity him, but then when he goes over the edge and if he starts doing some terrible things, you know that's wrong, and nobody in their right mind can say that is cool or anything like that. It actually shows you the obviously, like I said, the descent into madness, what it actually can sometimes take to push people over the edge. But there is no condoning any of the terrible things that the Joker does in this movie. You actually, at least in my opinion, when you see him, towards the end of the movie, you actually are you're disgusted by what he's become. And that's who the Joker is. That's the character of the Joker. He's not supposed to be a cool guy or, somebody you look up to, or he's a terrible dude. That's what he was in the comics. That's what he's been in every single movie. So I don't know where people were coming from, and at least from that side of it, I don't understand that at all. I think that it's pretty easy to see that this guy's a bad dude. I should also say that there have been some questions as to whether this version of the Joker is going to cross over with the new portrayal of the Batman directed by Matt Reeves and starring Robert Pattinson, which from what I've seen, it looks like they're not going to do that. And as much as I'd love to see Joaquin Phoenix's Joker cross over with a new portrayal of the Batman, seeing that we actually got the story of the Joker first, and there are some connections in this movie that I won't go into, but there are some connections that are made, which are really interesting as far as world building. But I almost hope they don't do that, which is kind of the direction I think they're going in. I hope they don't do that because this movie works so well all by itself. It's got, a good beginning, a good middle, a good end. It's a full story in and of itself. And I feel like if he entered the world of the Batman, it would cheapen this movie. It would cheapen the character, this portrayal of the Joker, because it's done so well in this movie with him as the central character. Let's face it, if he goes into a different movie, obviously the Batman, what's going to be the central character? The central character is going to be Batman, no doubt about it. And the Joker is going to have to take a little bit of a back seat to the Batman. And this character is so well put together and just so rich that it would be terrible, in my opinion, to see him take a back seat to the Batman, because this character has got so many nuances, and everyone knows the character of the Batman and Bruce Wayne and how he became the Batman. Everybody knows that story, but nobody knew a realistic version of the origin of the Joker. And this is what this movie gives us. And I feel like it should just stand on its own as the awesome, spectacular movie that it is. And like I said, I don't want to give up any spoilers or anything, because this is a movie that you have to see for yourself. And this is definitely a movie I think that I need to go see again, because there are little things that I feel like I'd probably pick up even better the second time around, that my wife actually picked up the first time around that I didn't even notice. So I feel like it would just make the movie even more amazing with the character development and just giving you the inside look of Arthur Fleck's mental instability, so to speak. So yeah, I would say you have to go see this movie. I'd give this a solid 4.5 to 5 stars. I absolutely love this film. Go see the movie as soon as you possibly can. Like I said, not for everyone, because it is very dark, very disturbing, quite depressing. But I think it's a movie that needed to happen. I think it's a movie that really shows people what it would be like to have a mental illness, and that we shouldn't just throw it under the rug. You have to bring it to the forefront, and you have to try and tackle the issue. So, like I said, go see this movie. You have to go see this movie. I think Warner Brothers and Todd Phillips, the fact that they came together and decided this is the movie that needed to happen, that this is the side of the Joker as a character that we needed to see, I thought that was a perfect move in hindsight, because at the time I didn't think that was such a great idea, like I said, after Jared Leto's Joker, but they absolutely nailed it. So go ahead and see this movie, guys. Thank you so much for watching my review of the Joker movie. If you liked the video, go ahead and give it a like. Also, you can subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again next time.